This is my what I eat in a day on Slimming World. Started out with just an apple for breakfast because I was feeling a bit nauseous this morning. For dinner I tried to add a bit more to my salad, so I had some carrot and celery, I had some of these seafood sticks, an egg, some ham and 3 light Babybels and healthy extra A. I found that I'd been snacking a lot on an afternoon, so this was my attempt to keep myself fuller, which definitely worked. For tea I was really craving one of these poke bowls. We do have a place in Leeds that makes them and they're really nice. I just haven't been in absolutely ages, presuming that they're a lot higher sins. So the one that I made was 5 sins. However, that was mainly because I added avocado, which was 2.5 sins for 25 gram, which I measured out. However, you can make them a lot lower sins if you want to. I will do a little recipe video if anyone is interested how I made this one. I had 2 of these bars from a Healthy Extra B and I thought that was going to be it for the day. However, my hubby pulled out some fruit pastels. I looked on the app and they're only half a sin per fruit pastel, which seems quite low. However, I had one of them. So I'm ending my day on 5.5 sins and I'll see you tomorrow. This is my what I eat in a day on Slimming World. I'm actually starting with dinner because I was so full last night that I didn't have any breakfast. I made poke bowls again and it was a bit of a do your own choice today, so I had that with some chicken, some samiri, carrots, cucumber and sweet corn. It was 2 sins for the avocado and 1 sin for the chicken skewer, and I then used 1 sin between the mayo and sriracha. This were absolutely delicious and kept me so full, and this was my son's version that he wanted to try making one as well. I think it's good to let him try little versions of what I'm having and make it his own. I was then bribing the kids with Smarties and just had 1 for myself, which was half a sin. And I made this gammon in the slow cooker and then finished it off in the air fryer. It was just half a sin. I did some Slimming World chips, some baked beans and some carrots for sweet on the side. I had one of these Christmas tree chocolates, which are 1.5 sins, and I finished off the day with 2 of these bars from a Healthy Extra B. So I'm ending the day on 6.5 sins and I'll see you tomorrow. This is my what I eat in a day on Slimming World. Now you might be wondering why I'm not starting with breakfast, but I didn't have any. I had some training to do which I thought started at midday. However, I realised at 10 to 10 that it was actually starting at 1:30, so I got my butt over there pretty quickly. There was a shop next door and I was planning to get something to eat, however I saw these and just wanted to try one. So there were 4.5 sins. I'd say definitely worth it, but there definitely wasn't much to it, and it's not an appropriate breakfast food. So when I got home, it was lunchtime. I had some of the gammon from yesterday. I had an egg, 2 Babybels, some carrot and some celery. Delicious dinner. We were out and about doing some errands and my little boy had saved me one of his biscuits when they went for coffee. So I had one of these, which is just half a sin. For tea, it was chicken stir fry. I had lots of speedy veg in there and it was just half a sin for the sauce that I used. Then the neighbour texted me to pop round because she had some cake left over from her dad's party. Don't worry, I did not eat the cake. I sat and had one of these Healthy Extra B bars while the boys devoured it. A bit later I had another one of these bars that completed my Healthy Extra B for the day. And then I had one of these Christmas tree decorations, which is just 1.5 sin, and that was it for the day. So I'm ending my day today on 7 sins and I'll see you tomorrow. This is my what I eat in a day on Slimming World. I was already halfway through and I remembered I hadn't taken a picture, so this was apple, raspberry, strawberry and some low-fat yoghurt. For lunch I had some of the leftover gammon, 2 boiled eggs, some of the imitation crab stick things, seafood straws, I'm not sure what you're called, some carrot and celery and a couple of Babybels. When I got back I also had another Babybel, so that completed my first Healthy Extra A. I then got myself to the gym. This was my grumpy face because there was no treadmills free, however I waited around and I found within a couple of minutes. I was really proud of myself because I managed to do 4 2.5-minute runs and 3 1.5-minute runs, so it's a big improvement for myself. For tea, I did some burgers. I actually made them really thin, like the smash burgers. I wouldn't say these were actually the best. They'd cooled down quite a bit by the time I served them up. I also did that with 2 of these hash brown waffles, which are 1 sin each, some carrot and celery and some baked beans on the side. This is what the boys had. Then to finish off, I had 2 of these bars for a Healthy Extra B. So I'm ending my day on just 2 sins and I'll see you tomorrow. This is my what I eat in a day on Slimming World. Started off with just an apple for breakfast as I didn't feel like having much. I've got myself a new lunchbox for work, but I'm not 100% sure I like it yet. So I had a boiled egg, some of these crab sticks, I had some Caesar dressing which I didn't actually end up eating. I'd done some drumsticks in the air fryer. I actually took the skin off when I was eating them, but they had some garlic and onion powder and some paprika on. They were really, really nice. And then I had that with some carrot and celery, really filling dinner and all sin free. I had this sparkling like soda water. I think this might be half a sin because it did actually have 10 calories for it, but it wasn't on the app. We then went to Wagamama's for our tea. I had a new dish and I was really impressed with it. It was the teriyaki beef brisket hot pot. It's not on the app yet, so I had to use the sin calculator. However, I put it in twice and it came up as half a sin. Now, it was just a load of veg in there, but obviously the sauce I thought would be a lot more sins in there. And then it also had some tteokbokki, but that isn't on the app as its own thing. So I'm not entirely sure, but it came out as half a sin. I would have guessed it was the whole sins for the day. But I'm 100% having this again, whether it's 100 sins or half a sin. I'll definitely be having this when I next go. I definitely want to try and make this myself in the future. Maybe do like a Slimming World friendly version, because the idea of Korean hot pot is delicious. Then I rounded off my day with 2 of these bars as my healthy extra B. So technically I should count today as just 1 sin. However, I'm not feeling 100% confident about that. If anyone wants to run it through the sin calculator for me, I'd be very grateful. Maybe I'm making a bit of an error with it. But anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. This is my what I eat in a day on Slimming World. To be honest, this week has turned into a bit of a disaster. Started off with a cheese omelette using 30 grams of cheddar for my healthy extra A. This week we've got a decorator in doing the whole stairs and landing, which is 3 stories. It's a bit of a nightmare and the house really stinks of paint. I'd come home to do a meeting this day, however I was painting the door frame for my office, so I ended up eating in the camper van, which was pretty good. You know, it's a nice little space and I had a little heater there, so I was happy. So I had some carrot and celery, a couple of the drumsticks, which I took the skin off. I had 2 of these crab sticks and 3 baby bells, which was my other healthy extra A. I do think the neighbours probably wondered what on earth we were doing in there. Then for tea, my original plan was to take my little boy up to a Wacky Warehouse type place and eat at the Brewers Fair. It wasn't the best menu, however it was going to be a trade-off so that he could run around for a bit. However, this is what I ended up eating, and the Wacky Warehouse bit was shut for cleaning. Bit of a nightmare. I did try and have a look on the app to see if I could figure out the sins, however I had absolutely no idea. I didn't actually eat it all, and I did cut off the fat from some of the things. This was the boys helping themselves to my leftovers. I then finished off the day with an apple, and I had 2 of these bars for my healthy extra B. I'm pretty sure it's going to be again this week, which is a little bit disappointing. However, I've completely failed to plan appropriately for the week, so I'll see you tomorrow. This is my what I eat in a day on Slimming World. Breakfast looks lovely, right? Didn't end up eating it. I prepped it, took it, it was looking all lovely. However, I got that busy chatting to a student that I had that I didn't end up eating anything. I also totally forgot to take a picture of my lunch. However, I definitely did eat it, and this is exactly the same thing that I had a couple of days ago. So I had a soft-boiled egg, a couple of the imitation crab sticks, I had 2 chicken drumsticks without the skin on, and I had some carrot and celery. I ate this at about 3:30 in the afternoon, so not ideal. However, I didn't actually feel hungry in the morning. We were then going to IKEA. We knew it'd spend a bit of time as some of the paint was still quite tacky, but also we needed a few bits. I had one of these bars as half my healthy extra V. We did manage to find what we needed, which was a wardrobe. However, it took way longer than expected and we ended up eating dinner while we were there. I had some of these meatballs with chips and gravy. It seems like once I decide to go off plan, I will and truly go for it. Good news is the cake that's behind that was actually my partner's. Bad news is I had a little bite of it. Luckily, the decorator managed to finish the day early, so it's all done now. Everything's still sticky when we got home, but hopefully it should be dried for the morning. I'm looking forward to getting life back on track in the morning. I'm definitely feeling a bit lethargic, and my skin feels a bit greasy, which isn't nice. It's weigh day tomorrow. Definitely not looking forward to that. However, the scales will land where they may. I'll see you then.